Hello and welcome to Weekdays with TCF, Thursday edition. I am Zach Lilly. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilliaTCF. You can follow us on Twitter, Typical Chicago Fan, at Typical_Chicago. You can follow The Loop Sports at The Loop_Sports. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Type in The Loop Sports.
I'm Boomy down here. You can follow me at BOOMY'TCF. If you are an Apple user, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just go there, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. If you're not an Apple user like myself, you can find us on Spotify. Make sure you follow us there. We are also on YouTube at Typical Chicago Fans. Make sure you click the red subscribe button. And you send us a screenshot that you do any of those. We're going to enter your name into a drawing for a free T-shirt. We've only got a couple entries so far, so make sure you get on that. But, Zach, we got a loaded panel tonight.
We do. Who do we have here tonight?
Well, many of you know one of these faces.
So, yeah, I was here last week. You can follow me at TCF Gameboy. Hopefully I can mediate some arguments here.
There's going to be some arguments. And a very special guest. We have my dad, the one, the only, Brian Bloomhurst, who doesn't have Twitter, so you can't follow him there. But, Dad, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks. I'm the one responsible for bringing this one into the world. So if you like it or hate it.
Yeah, I don't know if you should be happy about that, sad about that, mad. But yes.
Fight start already.
What?
I'm kicking your ass tonight.
Yeah. The nice thing is we're far away from each other, so I don't even have to. I can pretend like he's not even here. Because I did cancel you last night.
I canceled you right back.
We canceled each other, so
we got a lot going on tonight. We got a fully loaded show. Part of my grooming as a young child was inspired by my dad. I wanted to bring him on, and he promised us candy for the TCF Candy.
I was told that was the only way I was allowed on.
You weren't supposed to tell the people that, but we'll keep moving. But we got a lot to start with. Zach, what are we going to start with tonight?
Let's start with we got the Final Four coming up here on Saturday. We got Auburn going up against Virginia 1-5, and then we got Texas Tech, Michigan State, which Michigan State is done for right now.
Wrong.
They brought in Kirk Cousins.
Wrong.
Well,
Horrible choice.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with their team. It's wrong with the people who bring in these guys. Michigan State has so many big-time alums, and you bring in a guy who is literally the least clutch quarterback maybe of all time. So we bring him in. But, yeah, we got Michigan State, Texas Tech. But we've said this is pretty much a chalk tournament, but that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
But, is the lack of parity, does that bother any of you guys? We had a couple early upsets, but, has that deterred you guys from watching any games?
No, I mean, you don't have all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. So I think that right there, I mean, if it was all 4 1 seeds, I don't know how entertaining for me that would be. I want to see teams that weren't predicted to be there. So I like seeing that there's only the 1 seed there in Virginia. I think they were out of the 4, I thought they were the worst 1 seed there was. So I actually like the 4 teams that are there and the way it worked out.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if anybody has the perfect Final Four. That'd be a pure miracle. I mean, and like John said here, picking Virginia out of all the number 1 seeds, maybe them and maybe Gonzaga because of their debacle against St. Mary's in the tournament. But, to have them there, especially after what they went through last year, it's kind of fun to watch.
I think this is the perfect story for Virginia. Is you get beat by a 16 seed. And I think their destiny, the story you're going to remember out of this is, and this is just in my head, gambling wise and just thinking about the game wise, this is the team of destiny almost. You get knocked out by a 1 seed, you're playing amazing defense, you've escaped some games, you saw some adversity in the first game where everybody's oh, it's going to happen again. This might be the turning point where I just think, to me, they're the team of destiny. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's going to be a good Final Four. These are all very good teams. I guess Texas Tech isn't the biggest basketball place, but Auburn, they got Pearl coming back.
Auburn and Texas Tech are football schools.
Well, we have Pat coming in here saying, I guess anyone can get on this show. That's a little bit of a shot at go Brian over there. I actually have the perfectly wrong Final Four.
I think Pat is in the majority there.
I think that's everyone. I really thought Duke was going to do it, so I put it on.
But we talked about this, Duke's inability to shoot the 3. I mean, and I don't know about you guys. When you guys were watching, when times got hard for them, they gave the ball to Zion, and everybody got the hell out of the way.
Yeah,
that's not what got you there. You got there by getting the ball to R.J. Barrett and working Zion, on the screen and rolls. And entering the ball and kicking to open shooters who then attack the rim. They just like basically like, here you go, buddy. Like, take us to the Final Four. You can't do that.
I don't know what everyone's thoughts on Coach K is, but I kind of think that this showed of his lack of coaching. Really, he didn't really set any. He set his team up to give the ball to Zion, and that was it. He didn't set anything up to try and get anyone else into the play. Tyus Jones. Is it Tyus?
Yeah, Tyus Jones. Yeah.
This is what's his brother? Who's his brother? I always forget. I would get those two mixed up, but yeah, he was pretty much the only one that kept him in games other than Zion. I know R.J. Barrett is going to be a good pro, but did not have a very good tournament. It kind of showed that he was a little bit shaky there at the end of the games. It doesn't matter for me on the draft board because people kind of overreacted to that, saying that the Bulls hopefully don't get R.J. Barrett. Yes, I don't want him because I would rather have Zion or John Morant, but I'll take him.
I'll take R.J. Barrett.
But yeah, it just really set up for a nice Saturday Final Four. We got Michigan State coming in at 2.5-point favorites, and we got Virginia at 5.
That's a steep line. That seems so.
But Auburn lost one of their best players.
Yeah,
too, so I'm
true.
sure that's playing a lot into it, and you're giving Virginia enough time to prep. So.
Oh, Kiki, do you love me?
Yeah, I can't. That kind of stuck in my head now. The Kiki, do you love me? But I think Auburn's going out there to maybe play for Kiki.
That's what they did the other day. I mean, that's how they beat Kentucky. I think is they had that. I mean, he showed up at halftime when they were losing, and
this has Louisville and Kevin Ware written all over it.
I was kind of thinking that too. What do you guys think for predictions? Like, let's go down it. I mean, I'll start. Michigan State, Virginia. This is probably my dumb brain, but like. Texas Tech shouldn't be in a Final Four. Auburn shouldn't be in a Final Four. I feel like the world is going to balance itself out. And Izzo's going to outcoach Beard, who Izzo's been here a million times. Beard's in his first one. Nothing against him. He's a good coach. They're playing good basketball. But he's not Tom Izzo. And then in the other game, I obviously don't really like Bruce Pearl. I think he's kind of a dirtbag. But I also really like Tony Bennett. Had dinner at his house. No big deal, not to brag.
That's your best friend.
Pretty much. We talked about football for like 45 minutes. So I got Virginia, Michigan State. Virginia's my team of destiny. They're going to win it all.
You're half right.
Oh,
you're half right. I do think the injury and everything is going to catch up to Auburn. I do think Virginia is the fairy tale in this one, losing to a 16 and the ultimate comeback and being national champs. So I got Virginia not only winning Saturday, I got them winning Monday. But I think Texas Tech's defense is just – I just think they're going to do something, whether it's double teaming the point guard or whatever, just trying to contain things. But, they always say defense wins championships, and if that's the case, then Texas Tech should be national champs.
I don't know about you, but I think that game might finish like 52-49.
Yeah,
one way or the other. It's going to be a boring.
The first team to 50 may win.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I think that's what it's going to be.
What do you guys got down there?
What are you thinking? I'll do my prediction last because I'm going betting one, not really who I think is going to win.
I do think that Virginia and Michigan State will be the two.
Let's go.
In the championship. I don't think Virginia can pull that off. I think Michigan State's going to win it all. I don't think Virginia is going to be able to beat Michigan State because they're going to play. Michigan State play at the tempo that Virginia wants to play and be better at it. So I think Michigan State's going to pull it out in the end. But I mean, this is one of those things though. Auburn, if they get hot, very easily take this thing. They're that type of team.
I completely agree. There's so many like weird factors. Like obviously me being on the Virginia side, but there's something that can happen with Auburn. They start hitting shots and they get that kind of feeling like they're playing for Okeke, and they play well defensively. Bruce Pearl sweating his ass off on the sideline through his shoulders. They could get hot and they play the opposite of Virginia. They want to score 90 points a game, and if those shots are falling and Virginia gets caught into a track meet, it could end up in a blowout. But I just think that Virginia is so well coached, so well maintained defensively, they are not going to allow that game to get into a track meet with an Auburn that doesn't have Okeke out there.
Well, I'm going to go for where the juice is on both games. I'm going to go Texas Tech, money line, Auburn, money line. I like them both.
Fade Big Z.
But Virginia.
Fade Big Z.
Virginia really, I know they're in the Final Four, but they struggle with some teams they shouldn't have.
Dude, they have like 3 losses all year.
But I also like
3 losses.
My biggest bet would be Virginia, would be Auburn first half. Virginia always comes out a little slow. I think that Auburn's going to come out hot, ready to go. So I would go definitely first half. But yes, I think I like Auburn and I like Texas Tech. I know, yes.
I couldn't disagree more.
That's fine. That's actually a good thing.
But I actually think, like, as far as like being a basketball traditionalist, like I would love to see like the old, the traditional programs in Virginia, Michigan State. But I also wouldn't complain for a second if it's Texas Tech and Auburn.
No.
Just to see kind of those new shining programs come out and be like, hey, this is us establishing. One of us is going to leave with a title. Bruce Pearl's been building something. Like I said, not a huge fan, but they're still building something there. And then Texas Tech, I mean, Beard hasn't been there extremely long, and they haven't had a ton of success, in the last couple of years. They're really fresh onto the spotlight. But I also feel like they took advantage of a down year in the Big 12 and are really making the best of it. But I just don't see how Virginia playing North Carolina and Duke and all these other teams in the ACC, how a team – and I like the SEC, obviously being a Florida fan, but, like, I feel like Virginia has taken more shots all year at a better competition than an Auburn has, and they don't have Okiki. I got to lean towards Virginia.
I got a question because I don't always have 3 basketball coaches on the panel with me. But I got a question about Michigan State. Do you guys think I know we got Boomy's thoughts on the whole when he kind of freaked out at the player, they got into a little bit of an argument there. What do you guys think of that? And do you think it's brought this team together and gotten them to the Final Four? Whoever wants to go first.
I don't think it's brought them together. I just think it's a normal thing that Izzo's been doing his whole career. It just happened to be nationally broadcasted and probably at a bad moment. He might have gone further than he usually does, but it's not like anything new. I've been watching him go for the entire time he's been in Michigan State. I've seen that side of him the entire time. He hasn't changed one bit. So I don't think it brought them together at all. I think it's just something normal for them. It was just
Yeah, I think Izzo's always been one to be really kind of stressing the mental mistakes more than the physical mistake, and that was definitely a mental mistake. And he just was kind of the opinion that that particular player was just kind of shrugging it off by saying, "Oh, my bad," and Izzo just wanted to make sure that that mistake wasn't going to happen again. And I think he definitely made that point. And I don't think it was a big rallying cry. I think other ones had kind of seen it before.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were rattled or brought together because of it. I just thought it was kind of blown out of proportion.
I thought the media made a bigger deal out of it than it needed to be. Like I've told you, I thought it was, to me as a coach, that's too much for what I'd be comfortable with. Like, obviously Tom Izzo's been doing this a hell of a lot longer. Like, I just can't imagine getting, having to be held back by players from being and I get he's old school. We've been over this a million times. But at some point, like you're right, it's the mental part and the shrugging it off, but I don't think the team looks at it the way the media has.
Well, like we said, the media kind of made it as a video,
they keep talking
where it's
about
a line in the sand. If you're old school or new school, it's pretty much what the media tried to make it out to be.
Yeah, and like literally every time they're in an interview, it's that same question that we just asked between us. Those guys are hearing it like 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Like it's got to be getting played out. I mean, it's been 2.5 weeks.
What is the new school they're talking about? What are some examples of the new school coaches they're talking about?
Like that means a little bit more, I guess, for lack of a better term, almost coddling and like talking and not yelling and screaming. Like that's just my interpretation.
But like who? But who is the? Because I don't see any of them in the Final Four right now.
It obviously, and you see no one that really like makes it work, or else there'd be a bigger piece about it. But I just looking at the definitions of it. That's just the way
You're right. I mean, it had. I mean, back when your dad and I were playing, it was, we were just told what to do, and then we did it. And if we were lucky, later we were explained why we were to do it this way. And I definitely think even that has changed even through my years of coaching. Is we do tell players now why we have to do it, because there's more of a buy-in once the kids understand. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I think they buy in more, and I think you just get better product. You get better effort.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it.
Well, what's not a good product is the Chicago Cubs right now. They are currently down 6-0 with guys on second and third, one out in the bottom of the 5th, rain incoming, so that may end the game. But yes, they have gotten off to a bit of a slow start. But before we get into that, I want to know, out of the 4 teams right now, who do you think is going to win the national championship? Because
I got Virginia.
Michigan State.
I like Auburn. I think they got a lot to play
Texas
for.
Tech's the only one not getting any love here.
But
Which means they're for sure going to win
I
it.
got him losing.
Everybody run to the bank, take out all the money you have, and go bet it on Texas Tech because there's no way any of us are right.
Whatever I tell you, do the opposite.
Yeah, I do like the lines. I think Virginia's going to beat Auburn, but I don't think it's going to be by 6 points. I think you're going to see a close game. I think 5.5 is way too much.
Yeah, so I would take the points of that. I'm going to probably take the
And
money
oh my
line.
God, though, Zach, the Cubs are dead. We're 5 games into the season. It's time to smash the panic button. Everybody's crapping out their ears. Let's take to Twitter and ask for Joe Madden's head on a platter because the season's over, right?
No.
Oh.
What I'm hearing about is another problem we're having again tonight is the starters, bullpen. What?
The starters? I mean,
The starters got pulled because what?
Didn't he go 5?
No,
Yeah,
he
4
didn't make it a
2/3.
5.
Yeah, but
I don't think he didn't get 2 outs. I don't think. I think he just got the.
Oh, 4
No.
1/3.
Yeah,
he was at the
1/3.
beginning of this inning, and they had 0 outs for a little bit here. So, bullpen with is that an ERA of 8.83,
That is what it's at.
17 walks, 20 hits, 17 earned runs in 17 innings. That was before tonight. That's going up even more now. The bullpen it's just something that you wish would have been worked on maybe a little bit more during the offseason. I get it now. This will be the 6th game of the season. But
It's a problem.
It's a concern that we're allowed to have because I get it. It's very early. But I don't care if this is in the middle of the season. This kind of stretch they're going on is worrisome for a team. Yes, the offense is doing great. I'm not worried about the offense, even though we've been shut out here tonight.
2 out of the last 3.
2 out of the last 3, yes. And it's been a struggle. But what's your guys' thoughts on the Cubs? I know Boomy's thoughts. We don't need to start off with
I'll
them.
be quick.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, we'll start off with John.
Because I'm about to load.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, I am concerned with the bullpen very much so because I don't know what Brandon Morrow is going to be when he gets back. When he comes back, is he going to be a guy who comes back and he's fully healthy, ready to go, and he's your closer and he's a shutdown guy? Or is he going to be kind of injury-prone the rest of the year and be shaky? We don't know. And the thing with bullpen guys is year after year you see different guys who are great for a couple of years and then just fall out the face of the earth. And a couple examples I saw – well, and he's an example. I saw a tweet that said all the different help the Cubs could have gotten in the offseason. None of them are off to a good start. Andrew Miller is off to he's got a +7 ERA right now. Like those guys who were just shut down guys a couple years ago, they're falling apart. And there's a reason like guys like Kimbrel are not on a team because they've had their mistakes or they've had their issues. I just think that some of these guys might have hit a wall after last year for pitching so many innings.
Yeah.
And you didn't give them any help this offseason. So I'm a little concerned there. I think overall they'll still be competing for a division title, but they've got to figure this bullpen thing out real quick.
I don't think the quick, immediate thing is to go out and spend $20 million on Craig Kimbrel.
No, I don't think so either.
I just don't think that's going to fix the problem.
Because you still need those other guys to step up.
Yeah.
I find it hilarious. I mean, I keep going back to 160, baseball games and 16 NFL games. So every 10 games for a baseball is 1 NFL game. Relatively speaking, yeah. So
we can figure that out.
So okay, they're 4-1. So does that mean that? So does that mean if the Bears are down 28-7 at halftime of the first game, they're going to throw? Oh, this season's over.
Maybe.
That's not going to happen.
I think that.
That's ridiculous.
That's dumb,
yeah. And I get it. I mean, you don't want to start going 1-9. I mean, I get 4-6 and 1-9 is still a loss. In as far as an NFL game is concerned, and it's a 3-game swing in the standings of a baseball standings. But relax. Take a deep breath. Every team is going to go through this kind of stretch sometime. Now, the only difference is now, how many you can't afford too many more or too much longer of these kind of stretches. I mean, you're getting hopefully your bad stretch in now And again, the chances are during 100, they're going to do another one of these somewhere along the line. I mean, the sky's not falling. Just take a deep breath and they'll get it fixed.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with me is obviously we all know that the bullpen isn't doing, like we just said, 8.83 ERA. But I think this early in the year, it's not that time to go. I mean, there's people on Twitter ready to just burn this thing down. Everybody, I've seen so many people wanting Joe Madden gone because they stress this urgency thing. Like, I get you want to be urgent, but you're literally 6 games into a 162 game season. So if you're going to start pressing the panic, but like, how do you live as a fan, first of all, where you take one game or a very small sample size and you live and die on that, where you're just ready to just crap out your ears and just ready to shut it down? Like, how do you live like that? Like, I would die of a heart attack in 3 months.
I think you kind of are, because you're overreacting to people overreacting is the thing. And
I'm overreacting to you.
What did I say?
Coming at me on Twitter.
Well,
Let me call out dumb people. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
All right, John, we got to take over, I think.
See, some people are also fans of the Cubs, and I get it. But if you're going to sit here at the beginning of the season and say April is October, then you're going to have expectations like that. And I get it. As fans, we shouldn't. But with Theo Epstein, who all these fans love, we adore Theo for what he did for the Cubs, giving them a World Series, that when he says something like that, we are going to think that these games are more important than we probably should. But yes, you're right. It's only a 1-4. Looking like it may be
1-5.
1-5, because I don't think they're going to get much more of this game.
And they're not going to wait around too much either.
No. This will be a 30-minute delay.
Because the Cubs got to get out of there and get to Milwaukee, which is another problem. Is going in 1-5. You didn't want to go 1-5 into Milwaukee. And yes, like I said, it's early in the season, but the Brewers are off to a hot start here. I think the Cubs could. I know it's early, but 5 games out of first place real quick here. Going to Milwaukee. It's just not the start we wanted. But like you said, we got to sit around, wait a little bit. Maybe this bullpen can figure this stuff out. Morrow, when will Morrow be back? Will he
They're
be
saying like mid-May.
Mid-May, because that'll be nice, because like last night, it would have been nice to maybe bring Strope in a little bit earlier to help out the bullpen, but we couldn't because we got to leave him for the bullpen, for the last inning, the 9th inning, to be the closer. So the Cubs offense is I heard this guy's name's Fried, but Joe Madden was saying that it's Fried, but he likes people to call him Fried. But Joe Madden, like you said, is getting a lot of hate on Twitter, but he doesn't care. It's not affecting Joe Madden.
It's not his fault anyway.
It's not his fault, but I'm just saying, if we're all getting mad at these people about getting mad at Joe Madden, he doesn't care. It's not going to affect the way he coaches.
You're not wrong. And we do have a good question down here from Blair. Do we believe the Ricketts when they say they're strapped for cash? I don't believe that for a half a second.
They're still printing money out there. It's, where do you decide to allocate? But again, it's not the money. They're the second or third highest payroll in all of MLB. It's just the guys they got right now just aren't getting the job done.
And we did sign David Bodie for 5 years, $15 million. The league minimum. That's a great. It's only 25 years old. I did not realize he was. I thought he was a little bit older than that.
And think he was about ready to give it up.
Yeah, he was about ready to give it up. And a great. It's some of those deals are nice. But let's talk about a Jason Hayward.
He's Zobrist's replacement, by the way.
Yeah. Who is actually Zobrist as of right now is one of the Cubs' hottest hitters.
Yeah, most consistent hitters.
Making contact all over the place. But Jason Hayward. What are all of our thoughts on Jason Hayward and his start to his season, where his slugging percentage is awful?
$20 million defensive replacement.
Yes,
I've been so defensive of this guy and like trying to be positive, and I'm just tired. Like it's making me physically exhausted to try and defend this guy who can't hit anything but rollover grounders to first and second base. Like. He'll get have a 2-week stretch where he's hitting the ball all over the place, and then he just goes back over, and those wrists roll over, and it's a ground out to first every time that a little leaguer could field. It's like we spent so much money, and I know it was a while ago, and we won the World Series with him, but it's so frustrating. It is so. I mean, to see the guy have the numbers that he did. And he comes in with these expectations and just like you said, $20 million defensive replacement. I still think he's a good enough outfielder, but not for the money you're paying him. Like I would rather have my best defensive outfielder be under like David Bodie's contract.
Right.
Well, you'd hope everyone would.
Yeah, that's true. But it's so frustrating. It's exhausting to try and defend this guy. I'm just done with it.
No, and
he's not even tradable. You can't even move for anything. No one's going to take on that contract. No one's that dumb.
And we got Yu Darvish under a big contract too, and that's always been the weakness of Theo in a way, is some of his signings have kind of fallen through a little bit. You still trust him, you still love what he's doing, but Yu Darvish, goes out there again tonight. You say a good outing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad.
It's a better outing than he had.
But it's just the
You
way
can at least build on it.
Yeah, you can build on it. At least he didn't have to. It's way better than his first start where he had to bring a starter in. John Lester with a good performance last night. I think he gave up 2 earned runs.
Yeah.
Bullpen came in and kind of screwed him over.
Couldn't throw a strike.
No, well
and they were getting squeezed. But
can we talk? I don't know if Uncle Brian has seen the video of the umpire last night in the Houston, Texas
what
game.
a clown.
Where he was literally staring at the
guy's getting
bench.
in his pitching motion,
and the coach is like, "What are you doing?" And he went on a power trip from nowhere.
Yes, he
did. He's going to, I control this. This is me.
I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want. I get your umpire, but I think if a player's going to get suspended for doing something like that, an umpire should be suspended for doing something like that.
Exactly.
Oh, he was definitely baiting. There's no.
Oh yeah.
And that's what. And I know I saw it again this morning, but yeah, that umpire should be fined. If not, suspended for a couple games because. Do your job. I mean, your job is umpire, not God. So just do your job.
When your job is to watch the pitch and you're clearly looking at the bench while it's going on, the coach comes out, he starts pointing at a few players, kicks them out real quick. Focus on the game. I get it. The players may be saying something, but your job is to watch it. You can maybe get mad at them maybe during, like between innings and stuff like that, or there's maybe not a pitcher about to throw it right down the middle. So yeah,
the best Hofford says Joe S. Jr.
The best umpires, at the end of umpires, referees are the ones that at the end of the game you didn't even know they were there.
Exactly.
They're talking, but they're not interrupting the play. They're letting the play develop. So yes,
if you know a major league ump's name, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
Well, actually, we can go. If we're going to go into arguments a little bit with Don, he said that would. Bobby Knight be able to coach nowadays?
Bobby Knight would be fired in the first month.
No chance.
I think he proved that at Texas Tech.
He wouldn't change either, and you can tell that by what he did after leaving.
You guys all heard the story? Didn't he crap on a towel or something?
Yeah,
I just remember that he crapped at half court.
Yeah, that's what it was. He brought a shotgun into practice.
The thing
it wasn't loaded.
You'd be arrested nowadays.
Well, they were talking. I heard someone talking to my guy Dockich. The other day, I love Dockich. These guys hate him, and I love him because he's a clown.
He's a clown.
That's why I like. He's funny.
He doesn't take the game too serious.
No, exactly. But he was saying when he was there, as an assistant, he was told after they lost some random Big Ten game, he said to go in and get these 3 best players, and he brought them all in, and he's yelling at these guys, butt naked. I mean, he just butt naked, to tell me the 3 best players are Big Ten All Conference, that they're off the team, they suck, to pack their bags and go home, and that he's just standing there butt naked. The first time, can you imagine that story on ESPN?
That is not Dockich, right? Butt naked.
No, butt naked. He said the guys couldn't really contain themselves, were getting yelled at, called every name in the book while Bobby Knight's ding-a-ling is just hanging around while they're getting yelled at. If that story comes out in 2019, he's going to be put on a list.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He's not going to be allowed within 500 feet of a school. You can't do that.
You're talking about the Izzo thing. They kept talking about Bobby Knight. They're that is not even a conversation. No one will ever be able to be like Bobby Knight because the second you like him, you're fired.
Yeah,
you're
exactly. You don't want to get associated with that. Blair said he liked your jersey a lot.
Yeah, today is opening day for the minor leagues, so I decided to go with the Tennessee Smokies instead of the Cubs. So they're double A. I'm doing.
Before we get into the White Sox, tomorrow is actually White Sox opening day. They pushed it back. So if you want to go out and get some tickets for that late night, use the promo code TheLoopSports in all caps, and you get $20 off of your first purchase of over $30. Again, that is TheLoopSports in all caps. Type it into SeatGeek, and you get $20 off of your first purchase of over $30. So I don't know if White Sox tickets will be over $30 this year, but maybe
go after opening day, and you get it for about $7.
Who am I to sit here and say anything about the White Sox? They
have a better record than our
team. They are better.
Can we just get a hit?
They're first and
no more no-hitter.
There we go. That's nice. Actually, the no-hitter in Cleveland just got broken up too.
Yeah, I had the over in that game.
Oh,
of course.
Not good.
Yeah.
That's why everybody out there should be taking Texas Tech right now.
Exactly. Go Hammer. I said that. Hey, we got a great question from Blair. He said he knows you jumped in late. But he wanted to know what our thoughts on were the Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy piece that got dropped today.
I think there's too much to it. I retweeted it on Twitter to be like the guy who
I know you. Why don't you just at me next time?
No, I didn't quote tweet it. I just
okay.
retweeted it. So, yeah, I think it's much to nothing. I think sometimes who knows if Aaron Rodgers – Aaron Rodgers has never shown, like, crazy personality.
Yeah.
He's never come out there. He's like a way better version of Jay Cutler's personality. He's kind of got that FU attitude. He doesn't really care.
He kind of keeps it under a rug.
He does the commercials. He does the ads and stuff. He does way more. Jay Cutler is maybe
Jay Cutler's a reality star.
Yes,
Stop
he
it.
is.
Stop it.
My wife loves him on that show.
He is awesome on that show.
I think it's funny for Bears fans to look at because it's the first time really Aaron Rodgers has been brought down in a while. But I think it's just it was something was going to happen between these two guys. I don't think Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers has really ever gotten along.
Yeah.
As guys. But maybe who knows? Maybe these guys were just mad at Aaron Rodgers or mad at the organization. I don't think there's anything really to it other than a good article for this guy.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't look good for either guy.
Kind of a hit piece against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jay hates being on that show. I think he just does it just to tolerate it. But
And then he sees the paycheck.
then he's okay with it. And it's like somebody famous once told me, there's always three sides to every story. There's each side, and then the truth somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I agree. I think it's completely overblown.
It's a great piece for this time of year in football.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
because
this is
the AAF is dead. The draft isn't for a month. Like, what else are we going to talk about?
Baseball's just starting off. There's not much really talking about.
Well for us.
Not much talking about football and stuff. So he throws this in on a random Thursday.
Yeah,
it's gonna be overblown. I think, but I think it's funny.
Can we agree though? This might not at all alter his likability, but he's an asshole. He is a straight up just D-bag for all this stuff.
But if, as you say that, I want my quarterback to have that.
Yeah,
edge.
No, I'm not saying it's
because
a
I get a
bad
little bit
thing.
annoyed with Bears fans who go, well, Jay Cutler was not the nicest guy. He was kind of a D-bag when he was playing. You know what? He was statistically the best quarterback the Bears have ever had.
Yeah.
Athletically as a quarterback, he was the best. And yeah, he wasn't there to like talk to the reporters and this and that, but who cares? As a quarterback, I want my quarterback to have
Throw
that.
the ball.
Win games.
You win games. Like that's your job. I don't care
Not
if he's the
everyone's
biggest
gonna be-
a-hole, out there. It doesn't matter.
And not
Randy
every-
Goodbread
not
involved in here.
Thanks, Randy.
Not everyone's going to be a Russell Wilson or something like that, going to be likable.
But
all
I
the
would
time.
rather have an asshole in Aaron Rodgers than
same.
Russell Wilson with his chastity belt on.
I want Trubisky to be more.
Yeah, be a little bit more of a
Yeah.
prick.
Hey,
I'm
have you
okay
seen
with
Sierra?
that.
He's doing all right. He's doing fine. I don't care if you got to wait for that. You're fine. Let's get into the White Sox.
Allegedly.
Yohan Moncada off to a hot start. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs already on the season.
Boy, hit a bomb.
Jose Abreu, they lead the league in home runs right now. Jose Abreu, he's got 2 home runs.
Third base has done great for him for Moncada.
Is he playing in good defensive right now?
Well, at least he's not worried about turning double play. I think the
Yeah,
game's a little
true.
bit, he's been simplified for him, I think, more than anything.
That's
So.
true. And if you got him throwing to Abreu, that's a good combination.
Yeah.
On the field and in the batter's box. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, we're Cubs fans, but I follow the Sox and I watch, all their stuff being involved with all this. Like, this is what they want the rebuild to look like. And I think this is a good sign. I know they're only 2-3 now, but they're not really concerned about wins and losses, right? They're worried about seeing guys like Moncada step up and seeing those pitchers develop.
You say that, but they go and they beat the Indians. They're in a division that could go anywhere. I'm not saying
They could
win the division, but I wouldn't set my goals at
16 Cubs?
Yeah. 15 Cubs.
15 Cubs, yeah.
But
Kind of sneaky.
Yeah, let's have the
I
World
just don't
Series.
think
You're
they
right.
have the longevity in the starting rotation.
Giolito, great first start.
Yeah, I agree. But
But they can add.
right.
Later on.
Dylan Cease that
But
they
would
can
they?
bring
Do you
up
think
still.
they would be willing to give up some of those assets they have down to maybe make a playoff run
Yeah,
now?
because they know that they can make a little playoff run this year. Maybe base some guys into coming in. They'll have Kopech next year. I'm not saying they're going to be going to the ALCS or something like that.
Right.
But I think that they could make a little bit of a wild card, maybe playoff run with the team they got. They got some hitters on this team. They got Eloy, who kind of off to a slower start, but he's still going to get hot. Moncada, nine hits, 20 at bats.
Yeah.
An efficient way to start the season. And I think that they got what the Cubs kind of had in 2015. No one's expecting them to win anything, and they're just going out there every day and having fun.
Let's put yourself in so like the Cubs trade away Eloy Jimenez in 2017 for Jose Quintana. If the White Sox are in a spot where maybe they're a couple games out around the break, do they trade a guy like Kopech for a piece this year, or maybe?
No,
I can see them moving pieces, but you cannot move Kopech. You got to let him play out next year. But they have to have some kind of prospect still left. I still think they're going to bring up Dylan Cease.
But why trade any of them right now?
No.
Because if you get to the playoffs, are you realistically going to beat the Astros, Red Sox, or Yankees?
Who knows?
That's exactly it.
So, but you're probably not going to do that. So I would keep all of your pieces and go to free agency and try to sign somebody there. Because what they're missing right now.
Who are they going to sign? Tell me who is going to be in free agency next year.
Everyone's going to have signed an extension.
Yeah,
There's going to be zero free agents.
Well, you can't trade your assets right now. Like you can't do it this season.
That's all I was asked. That's all I was
curious.
curious.
I think Major League free agency for the next Major League
Baseball
is dead for the next 4 to 5 years. Guys are signing extensions. There's no one out there that's going to be a big-time free agent for a while now. I mean, they already screwed up free agency by having two guys who are two pitchers in this league that haven't even signed yet, and we're 5-6 games into the season, which I think is kind of dumb. That they should have a deadline with at least before spring training.
If not, you have to go play in Korea
or something. You got to go play. You got to
July 1st. Yeah. Can't play till after July 1st.
But
I like that.
I think that they're off to a start that can be exciting for the White Sox, and tomorrow's gonna be fun.
They'll probably have 35,000.
Well, they always say they fill that place up. It's gonna be sold out. I bet tomorrow. It's gonna be a nice. They always say even when they're not that good, opening day is special for them. I think it's a lot different than a home. We'll be at the home opener for the Cubs. But it's different there because you can go, you can tailgate, you can do that kind of stuff. At Wrigley, it's impossible to do that kind of stuff. You can go to some bars, but that's about it. So tomorrow will be an exciting day for the White Sox.
Yeah, but good baseball is good baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, unless it's in St. Louis. The other place I'd go watch it. But sorry, Gotti.
And they got great food too. I do love their food.
Moncada did corrected us on Moncada. He had a couple bad throws. But still, like I guess I saw a spring training game and he just had a rifle.
Am I wrong though? You can play. He's a second baseman. He doesn't have that far to throw. You got some room to work with him.
Yeah.
I wonder what. I don't know if we want to get into this. How long does Russell have left on the suspension? Because he'll be back here coming up
20
here.
Games maybe.
Do you think they will?
This is a good question. Are you going to go?
No, I'm not going to get into that yet. But do you think they will move over Baez at the second and put Russell at short? And I think that will help out the defense. And yes, everything that people have said about Russell, it's gonna be different when he comes back to play baseball. Because it's just how it happens in sports. In professional sports, yes, he did something horrible, one of the worst things you could do. But he's gonna come back and play baseball at some point. He's not gonna retire from baseball and never play again. And my thing was, what happens if he comes back and he starts off hot, or he comes back and has 2 to 3 home runs? Will he be embraced by the Cub fans? And that's a question that we don't need to answer right now because it doesn't really matter what we say. It will be answered when he comes back. But that will be another thing to go because, we're off to a little bit of a slow start, but we got that coming up where Russell's going to be coming back. And it's good or bad. I mean, it's going to be a thing.
It's going to be
another few days of Cubs maybe getting bashed a little bit, or who knows what's going to happen when he comes back. He will not get the Josh Hader return because that was just dumb. But he'll be back here in a little bit.
Blair said he's suspended 40 games, but that's also retroactive.
Yeah, he's 28 left for this year.
He's 28 for this year.
Yeah, so after tonight he'll have 22. So he's got roughly a little bit more than 3 weeks.
Okay.
Would he be still like with the Cubs, or is he down in the minors doing?
No, he can't. He's not allowed.
You can come back like a week before you can go back to the major leagues. You can go for. So I have a question actually.
Let's hear it.
Who would you rather have at that point though, Ian Happ or Addison Russell? Out of those, if you had to pick one of those two guys.
Come on, that's not a serious question. Come on. Happ strikes out 200 and some. It's more than one
he's
again.
He's got a high upside right now.
Nico.
Now that's a good question.
Nico, bring the kid up.
Ashton Russell, though, with the batting.
Nice try, though.
But him being a defensive shortstop is a big thing. Him coming back and being we need with having 6 errors the other night. It will be nice to, I guess, have him back at shortstop. But yeah, it depends on what Hap does. If Hap can prove to me that he's down there and he's changed it a little bit, but I
don't know if he's going to be able to fix that in 2 weeks.
Here's what's going to happen. Hap's going to come back. He's going to have an incredible, 10, 14 games. He'll be on fire, and that'll just up his trade value.
I'm fine with
and then
that.
that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping Hayward catches fire here
for
just a couple of weeks,
Hot and trade him.
Because Theo has proven he's not going to trade low.
No,
he'll hang on to those guys, which is good. I mean, if they get hot, then we'll see. And the way this is going, and again, don't panic out there, but are the Cubs sellers at the trade? Because now the trade deadline is a hard deadline, not the soft one anymore. So we got a long ways before we have to worry about that.
As much as we want to defend Joe Madden, it's always if they keep losing, it's going to be it's going to be thrown out there every single day on sports radio. Is he going to be fired? When is he going to be fired? What's going to happen in the next few weeks? Who knows? But like I said, with Theo saying it's April is October, he changed those rules in the locker room with the not much food and beer. They have to do batting practice, I think at least 5 to 6 times a week, which is kind of going against some of the stuff Madden maybe allows him to do. But like I said, it's not affecting Joe Madden. It's not affecting the way he coaches. So that's really all that matters.
But help me God, if they make Tommy Hotovy the head coach,
well,
I might not watch a game the rest of the year.
Theoretically, if they were to get rid of him, would you want a Joe Girardi to come in?
No.
You can't. You probably won't bring a guy in like Joe Girardi in the middle of the season. They would hire an interim.
But Girardi, even after the season, is a no.
Right. Yeah.
He's not good with young players, and he's very much against analytics. So that does not fit at all what Theo and Jed want.
Well,
there's no way they go for that.
See, and I think Theo really believes that, with the analytics, that if you get a guy that understands that, why spend $6 million for a manager when you can get one that does what he wants done?
They're just button pushers.
For $1 million. So I don't see any big name coming in, to be honest. I think Theo's going to pick his guy, and he's going to take over the reins.
Tommy Hotovy, that's why he got hired, was the analytics. And I'm just saying I don't want him right now based on what's happened in the first 6 games of the year. But obviously, we don't know if he's going to get this turned around. As of right now, it's not.
How long do we think Theo will still be around? How long until you think he's going to go on to the next project?
I'm not worrying about that yet.
I'm just saying he's going to move on at some point.
He has said before that if you stay at a job for 10 years, that's when it's time to go, because that's when you start seeing the process start all over again.
Is he around 5 years?
He's been here since 2012, right?
Yeah, so 7.
I'm just saying it's going to start becoming
maybe
a thing
where I think he's got 3 years left, maybe, or 2 years left.
Don Hoffert, Mark Loretta is our bench coach.
Yeah,
I don't hate that. I'm also a big fan of former players stepping into managerial roles. Obviously, like Mike Matheny didn't work in St. Louis because he's a PUD, but it's shown in other places that it can work. So that's
maybe new school, old school is more baseball than it is NCAA basketball. But maybe that's a topic for another night, maybe.
We sadly have to move into the Bulls real quick.
Wait. Sadly, I'm telling you right now, the way things are going in Atlanta, the Bulls and the Blackhawks are both more entertaining than the Cubs right now.
Yeah, that's true.
The Blackhawks had no reason. In St. Louis, I think they're in the top 3. There's only 2 points separating them. St. Louis had everything to play for last night.
I love it too.
And the Hawks went out.
The Hawks wanted to beat the Blues. They know Patrick came and said it feels special when you beat the Blues.
Yeah.
Last night was good. We'll move on to the Blackhawks in a minute, but the Bulls, dumb win last night. 115.
Just missed the free throws.
115, 114.
Just missed the free throws.
That was a good game. It was a good game. I mean, between two bad teams, but it was a good game, and there was a lot of bad basketball, but at least it was entertaining.
City Bulls getting
winning all-stars out there, mixed in with Robin Lopez and stuff like that. But yeah,
poor Robin.
Yeah. I don't.
And then he looks at his checkbook, and you're like,
I don't feel bad.
God bless Robin. I mean, he's one who wanted to stick around.
Yeah.
I think he likes doing that. I mean, not much pressure on him. He's helping the young guys. The Bulls 22-57. They pretty much have the 4th spot locked up. There ain't no way they're going to get any lower. maybe if they would have lost last night, they got close. I think Cleveland's got like 19 wins maybe, but they got 3 games left. So, yeah, it's pretty much over. But with the Blackhawks last night showed you that next season may be pretty exciting.
Got to get that defense.
Yeah, the defense. I think they're going to get out there and maybe but the thing is, we wasted maybe Patrick Kane and Jonathan Tays' best season of their career. Jonathan Tays, most goals of his career. Patrick Kane, most points of his career, and they're going to be sitting out of the playoffs.
Absolute waste.
It's a waste. And I guess you really go back to Stan Bowman and you kind of blame him for – and I really think that they should have made a change before the season started. Yeah. Because
hindsight's always 20/20. Because there was, I don't know, but was there any talk over the summer about?
It wasn't like they were like.
Nobody was beating the drum.
Yeah, it wasn't like Joe Madden where they were on the radio every day going, "Well, maybe he'll be fired. Maybe he'll be fired." It kind of came out of nowhere in the middle of the season, but you could show it's the coach Collison has come up and he's been a good coach. He's going to be a good coach for the future, but. It didn't matter what coach you put in that situation. The Blackhawks were in a weird spot. They loved Coach Q so much, and some of them wanted to, like Patrick Kane. He came out and said, if I was not sick for that one game, maybe he would still be here.
Were we foolish getting our hopes up that this team could make a run? I mean, what are the odds that a team makes a playoff? No, I know, but what are the odds, or I would like to see the statistics on when a team – what are the odds this team makes a playoff after a coaching change mid-season? How often does that ever happen? I just think
NHL. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't know what the stats are at all on that one, but I do know in a lot of sports when there's a coaching change, that team usually has a boost because they feel like they're playing more
just at the beginning.
But if they get right, but then it falls apart.
So almost the opposite. They didn't. They struggled.
Yeah, they struggled out of the gate
without Q.
Their defense was just so bad this year, and like I said, they got to make some moves.
And everybody knew that in the summer. I heard more about that than I did about dismissing Quenneville, and yet we did not. All I know is this never would have happened under Theo. Theo would have had this.
So. Stan Bowman
wishes he was Theo. Hey, we got a good question from Don. You would know, the local Rockford Ice Hogs expert. Is there any defense in Rockford that we can get excited for?
Well, the best one, I think, statistically, or at least with the best upside, I shouldn't say statistically, but the best upside was up last night. That the Gilbert kid was up last night. And I think giving him a taste at least was a great idea. But really, there is some, but they're still, most of their defensemen, most of their blue liners, they're still a year or two away yet, even there.
So it's not enough to make an immediate impact like next
year. No, I mean, the guys have been like Sakura shuttling back and forth and like that. So
what happened to the big 6'10" guy they used to have? They still have him?
Oh, yeah.
They had a Zdeno Chara looking character, 6'10".
Zdeno Chara, 42, signed a year extension.
But the Ice Hogs had a 6'10" defenseman, Victor Svedberg.
Yes.
He's not in
the Blackhawks organization.
Who tore his ACL and just kept
finished
playing.
His shift,
he didn't even it didn't phase him.
Well, speed's not his game, though.
No. He's out there to beat the hell out of other people. That's his job.
Hockey players,
different breed.
Way tougher than me.
Different breed.
I think if I got hit, I always think about that with just being a quarterback and you get sacked. I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up from when you get hit on the ice and you hit those boards. Oh my gosh, that just makes me.
Did you see Buffalo? Who did he beat up last night? Kajuria? Was that who it was?
I'd be down for the fights, though.
I mean, holy cow! It was 100 pounds and 8 inches and giving up there.
They allow me to fight. That'd be fun. Let's get into our very special candy review.
We've been waiting for this.
We have Uncle Brian not let us know what it was, so
we have no idea what we're reviewing right now.
Because I didn't want any preconceived notions, and Zach almost blew me out of the water when he brought one in today, and I had to shoot him down. And this was
we're over-prepared for candy, actually. We come in and James yelled at me for not having candy, and now we have too much.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And hey, before we get into this, we have a question from Blair about talking golf and the Masters. We actually will have that next week on the Facebook show. We may have a special golf guest coming in to talk, but either way, we will be having some golf talk next week as the Masters loom. So thanks for asking, Blair.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the Masters.
Oh, boy. All right. Holy hell.
So here's what we got. I don't know if you can see. We got the new Snickers.
Did you buy the whole damn
We got them all. I didn't know. True story. I walked in. I didn't know they were $2 each. I'm like, if I'd have known that, I maybe would have deferred to Zach. But what we got here is Snickers Peanut Butter Crisp.
I'm getting excited.
Snickers Peanut Butter Creamy. And Snickers Almond Butter Creamy.
Oh my God!
And the reason I picked it out, to be honest with you, people, is it's already broken up into 4 pieces. Because the old rule in our house was whoever cut it in half, the other one got to pick. Right, so that's what we kept on it. So we don't have to worry about that here. So which one are we going to start with? Are we going to compare the 2 peanut butters, or are we going to compare the 2 creamies?
Let's do the 2 creamies.
See, the candy expert over here.
I'll just
all right, so here we go.
This is above and beyond.
You can see I'm kind of.
I might get invited back.
You might get invited back. You bring if anybody brings 3 candy bars here, you might get put on on the Facebook show. All right, boys. So we have that's the regular creamy peanut butter. All right, the scale's out of 4, just so you know,
So you guys do out of 4. I think I'm going to compare the 3.
Okay. All right, you'll be our compare guy.
All right.
Oh shit, that's good.
This is the time where we eat into the mic.
This is where everybody goes to the bathroom real quick.
All right. Yeah, when I'm sitting out there watching this, I hate this part because unless I have the candy bars in
I have
front
fun
of
with it.
You could. That's what we should do. People should try along with us. You ate the whole thing.
While we're waiting,
While we're
we
waiting.
have. It says, Brian, what's your favorite memory from repping the purple and gold Malden jersey? Let's hear your favorite moment.
a couple of them. I know that even though we lost playing Princeton at the Hall Regional my junior year, they were a school of 660 at the time, and we were a little old 60. And we were up at half. Their bench was a little bit deeper than ours, and we just ran out of gas. And so it was just fun. I mean, it was one of those things, we were, big fish in a small pond. And, no matter, because we played all these guys from grade school up. So by the time I'm a junior and senior, I know these guys, and we didn't even have social media. We'd run into them in Princeton and stuff like that. And, later in life, a lot of those guys that we played against are some of my best buddies. We got to actually play softball and all that stuff together. So, going on the bus rides and every away game, it was always a treat on Friday, Saturday night to stop at McDonald's in Princeton, to eat. And, It was, and it's just the whole, idea of high school sports. I mean, our little school is 60. We still had an activity, the student bus. We went to most games. 60. When you said, I meant you had less than 30 boys, and we'd always have 15 to 20 boys out for basketball.
Well, in defense, back then there was nothing to do.
Yeah, that's true. I know that's a big part of it. I mean, that's why, even Malden with its only one side of bleachers and only 6 rows was sold out, I mean, it was the thing to do on Friday and Saturday nights. And I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and coming from a small school too, you really have realized that it's hard to get numbers nowadays because, like you said, there's more stuff to do. People want to go and play video games, or people want to go do other stuff. Back in the day, they had a football team.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how
I don't know. Like the coolest thing, like hearing about that is like the lack of social media and you being friends with guys in other towns. Because like it's wild to think that people did that when there wasn't a way to like tweet at somebody.
I said shooter.
I'll score. I think more than shooter.
What do we got next? We got the almond butter.
Should we score the first one first?
Should we score the first one?
Oh yeah.
So before I taste this one, I forget what the first one was like.
Oh, first one.
2.9.
Fool.
I go too high. I go too low.
3.5.
Oh, that's a little high.
Oh, that's delicious.
I'm gonna go 3.1.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you right now, I like the almond butter better than the peanut butter creamy.
This is almond butter right now.
This is almond butter now.
Nope, I disagree with you, Dad.
Almond butter.
That's good.
That's work.
It is good, but it's not as good as a cream.
I'm gonna give it a quick 3.4.
3.5. I'm actually gonna go 3.3.
What was your first one?
3.6.
Oh, so
You said it.
2.8.
This
what was
is
your
good.
first one? Would you rate the first one?
3.1.
All right.
This was good.
All right. So this is peanut butter, but it's crispy.
This has got to be good.
I'm excited about this one.
Snickers, Crispers. Oh, there's no way this isn't going to be good.
Your conference was called the Indian Valley, Uncle Brian?
Yeah, well, we played in the Barrel Valley.
Oh,
Okay.
we have a winner.
What was this?
Drop the mic.
Crispy one. I finished my second one first.
3.9, boys.
Oh, damn.
Holy cow.
He might not be wrong.
3.9. This might be the best candy bar I've ever eaten.
I'm gonna give it a 3.6.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm gonna follow on with that.
Because this bottom part.
Yeah.
I'm
It's got like crisp rice.
I
and
love the
peanuts.
crispy. That crisp is so good.
Wow.
Thank you to everyone who tuned in while we eat.
All right, so we all agree because I definitely have the Snickers peanut butter crisper. That's my number one.
Yep.
I think we all agree with that.
Number one.
So go out and buy that one. We don't have any stock though in Snickers. Do we? We should go get some. And then to me, the almond butter was number 2 for me.
I'm going to disagree.
And then peanut butter
I'm with you.
was a close third.
Almond butter, good.
Peanut butter ahead of almond butter.
I
The almond
agree.
butter had a little just a little gritty taste, which I don't mind. But that was our best candy.
I think it's one that I think it's if you like almonds more than peanuts.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to.
Butter,
Yeah.
but
Nothing I love more than a little grit too.
yeah, that's true.
But I think we all agree though the peanut butter crisper is the way to go.
That bottom little crisper was just.
So when Pat Beals gets his tickets tomorrow, he'll have to invest in one.
Tomorrow, and it's a little treat day for you. You stop to get some gas. Go get one of those bad boys. It'll change your life.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah,
we don't
there's
get anything.
Snickers,
We should.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah, please. I'm trying to lose some weight though. That might not be a good thing.
I need to, but I'm not going to. Yeah,
All right.
the Cubs aren't helping me either with the losing weight. It's making
And
me
the
more
TV
sad.
turned off. The Cubs are playing so bad.
I think
killed it,
I think they are in a rain delay.
committed TV suicide.
Oh, they are still
Hey,
playing.
just so you know, I think we just ate 600 calories.
Yeah, I ate those really
I don't
quick too.
care.
My tummy
No,
kind of.
510.
It's a normal night for me.
Well, we're gonna move into we're gonna start calling it TCF Top 3. We're doing beers, but we're going to stay with the top 3 because you know what? We're not that smart, and we didn't realize that it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out 5 things. And now, with Gamer coming on here regularly. That was my tongue like got stuck there.
Sounded out
It's the
slowly.
peanut
like that.
butter.
It never
It's the
works.
It's a
That's
peanut butter. You're like a
stuck.
dog with a peanut butter on the roof of your mouth.
But we can't. It's gonna be hard to find 15 things. So yeah, we're gonna go top 3 here. Top 3.
Yeah, there's no way we're coming up with 20.
We'll let Uncle Brian go first.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah.
We don't want chances to get any rock paper scissors.
I suck at that.
Oh, by far. My number 1 is the Leinenkugel Berry Weiss. And actually, they've come out with this berry shandy, which
So,
I'm just.
berry and lemons.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh boy,
I believe so, but it's good too. I mean, but I consider them kind of the same, kind of close to being the same thing. So
back there that's like split down the middle. You put berry weiss on one side,
Yes.
you put it on the other, and you pour it, and it makes it.
yes. So number 1, berry Weiss for me.
All right, I'll go. Since you're kind of a simpleton down there, I'll
I
leave
think these
you.
3 are gonna have like cool beers. I'm gonna have.
Yeah, since you're kind of a simpleton, I'll leave you. I'm just gonna. You are. Let's not beat around the bush. The old school OG Budweiser Heavy is my all-time number 1. Dad, you didn't hear this, but I started drinking that when I was like 19, and it was great because you could drink like 4 of them and be a little buzzed.
19, you didn't wait like till you're 21 like I
21.
did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I waited till I was 21.
But like you could like back then, like I could drink like 4 or 5 of them. I could do it as a meal. You get full,
Yeah.
you get a little buzzed, get some Nyko. You don't have to eat actual solid food.
So is that your shower beer? Is that what you're saying before going out on a Friday night?
Yeah. Shower 6
Gamer, go ahead. You gave us yours.
I'll go with Blue Moon Belgian White.
Oh, my wife loves you for that.
Oh, that's
So
so
it's a
good.
perfect women's drink.
I wholeheartedly agree because Leinenkugel Berry Weiss is by far the most manliest beer there is.
He's got you there.
Good point.
I'm gonna throw a curveball here. I'm going to go Busch Light. Busch Light, number 1, my favorite beer. Everyone's favorite beer. Loved it since I was 21. Yeah, Busch Light, my number 1.
All right, we'll go reverse order for number 2.
wow.
So go ahead with number 2.
Snake draft.
You know what?
Confuses
I wouldn't say it's my
everybody.
favorite, but I want the little flavor in there. Big fan of the Twisted Teas.
Oh,
Love the Twisted Teas. I love
Is that
it.
even a beer?
Another manly drink. Another manly drink, right?
Weird.
Does it get you drunk?
So does like vodka.
So does rum.
They don't put them in little
That's making
cans.
a
They
beer.
don't put them in cans. They're in cans.
All right.
I'll do whatever I want.
Johnny, what's your number 2?
What do you want?
I'm gonna go with Spotted Cow.
Oh, damn.
You got the perfect
I knew
sign
this
over
was
there and
from you.
everything. So.
Seems like Zach's got the only.
Have you ever been to the brewery up there?
I've not been to that brewery. No,
Oh, gotta make a road trip.
That's got to be a trip at some point for me. Hopefully this summer.
All right, my third since you
TCF
stole mine.
TCF brewery trip.
Oh, it could be dangerous. You stole mine. You're killing me here. All right, you're probably gonna think I'm gross. Bud Light Lime, number 2.
Oh God.
Love me some Bud Light Lime. And I
see.
said lime/orange because
Oh, no, because I get Bud Light Orange.
Damn, that's all right.
Because that was my number 2. Because I was going to argue with you that Bud Light Orange is way better than Bud Light Lime, and I like Bud Light Lime. Don't get me wrong, but
just reminds
it
me of
wasn't.
riding in a golf cart
Yeah.
and just
On a beach, yeah, I got you. But no, Bud Light Orange is my number 2, so you can't have that. So
What is it?
Lime is a beach beer.
Orange is too.
Orange is like just sitting on a patio.
What kind of golf courses do you go
But
to?
See you there.
the one with the palm trees.
I was gonna say.
Hey, if you close your eyes, you're on a golf course. If you close your eyes, you can be in and Florida at the same time.
Hey, we need to talk to Craig. Maybe we can get a palm
some
tree out
palm
there.
trees, 'cause
Yeah.
Chance thinks he's in Florida golfing.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends on how many Bud Light Limes out there.
And then I think my number 3 is Michelob Ultra. I still like the old.
That's a good one.
You know, when I was in college, I dreamed of being able to afford Michelob and Heineken's and those good ones. But I'll stick with the Michelob Ultra.
I'm sitting here with all my random beer cans, and I go with my very basic picks.
Oh wait, is it you?
It's me.
That's back to
Take it easy down there. I'm trying to see. I don't have my glass, so I can't see anything.
Coors Light, Natural Lights.
No, those are all the drinking game beers.
Oh, Firehouse.
No,
Keystone.
This is easy. Anti-Hero. Anti-Hero's my favorite traditional beer. Like I went with my traditional Budweiser, my kind of flavory favorite, and then my weirdly specific beer, and that's Anti-Hero by who makes that?
Is that like
So
Revolution?
Revolution. Yeah, you're
It's in
right.
Chicago, right?
Love that stuff.
Is it Anti-Hero? Is that the
That's the IPA.
is that the company though, or is it
No, that's
Revolution?
the name of the beer. Revolution is the name of the company.
I had a bad experience.
I couldn't remember which
with
was which. I was gonna.
That's
I was actually gonna pick that one.
That's one of the few ones I'll buy a 6-pack of that here and there.
That was.
All right, Johnny, what do you got for number 3?
Oh man. Oh, Boomy just took mine. I was gonna say.
You can look over there. There's plenty of. Oh, and I'll give you another good one if you like that. The All Day IPA from.
I'm not giving out answers
I'm not
here.
normally an IPA guy.
I
so
love them.
I do like the.
Are they stealing all of yours, Zach?
What?
Are they stealing all of yours? So?
I got mine to be specific.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Miller Lite.
Yeah, not taking any of mine. No.
I'm gonna go with the Budweiser Copper Lager.
Oh, you like that?
I do. I like that a lot. I think it's
Ooh.
really good.
Yeah.
I did enjoy
I
that.
like
What'd you think of the Jim Beam one? Did you try that?
I have not tried the Jim Beam one.
How about the red, the Budweiser Reds that they had? Was that last
yeah, I
summer?
forgot
It was
about
okay.
those.
Yeah, they're okay.
Okay, mine's gonna be specific.
This is gonna be hilarious.
I guess I don't really like crazy beers, but I like a Bud Light aluminum bottle. I love the aluminum bottle. I don't know what it is about them, but I just love drinking them out of them aluminum bottles.
This is no joke. We were at the casino last weekend. Me and Zach are staying in the bar, and the bartender Zach goes, "Can I get a Bud Light?" And he pulls out the glass bottle. Zach goes, "No, the aluminum ones."
Aluminum.
He
They
was
had a deal on them too.
not having it.
They're cheaper per ounce.
We did
Like, they
forget a lot of good ones here. Like Pat came in.
Oh, by far, we all kind of agree that the $20 old styles at Wrigley Field are the best.
Yeah. Oh, I
mean,
want
come
the
on.
fat old style.
Come on.
IPA.
We did at Pat Goose Island 312. I do enjoy
Yeah.
those a lot.
That's your dad's, one of your dad's.
Basically,
Hey,
favorite.
one of my mom's.
anything
Yeah.
that Leinenkugel makes, I'm a big fan of.
Did you guys see the new Joe Madden beer?
Yeah, I want to
Try
try.
not to
Maybe we'll have to
suck.
find
I think
that on
it's a
Monday.
German
Yeah.
lager.
We'll have to find
Maybe we
that.
test that one out here.
Oh,
That could be a little taste
taste
test.
test, eh? What do you think?
Seems like a thick beer to
We
me.
just have all these taste tests of beers.
Yeah.
Get wasted.
I think that's a different show, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Let's do it right now.
It's
Yeah.
almost Friday, boys.
Yeah, it
What
is
else
almost
do we
Friday.
have to do?
I can't believe it's Thursday. That's so awesome.
I know.
But this
Fall
weather's
into the show,
been
man.
awful too. It's been killing my vibe. We had a few good nice warm days, and now we got cold. Ugh, rain. But maybe, hey, Boomy, are we gonna go golfing Saturday if it's nice?
I would say yes, but it's looking like it's not going to be nice.
Oh, is it?
I
Dude,
don't
I
know.
thought we said it was gonna be nice.
Weatherman Zilil over here.
If it's nice, let's go hit it up.
I know.
Have you started your card up yet?
No, no.
You may want to do that
Jump
first.
in.
Yeah.
That night, yeah. I killed it last year, and then I what did I do? I tried taking the battery off, ruined the radio.
You got ours started?
I'm not allowed.
I have not. I was waiting for you to do it.
I'm not putting jumper cable.
You don't want me playing with jumper cables. Somebody's or something's going to catch on fire.
You can't control jumper cables.
I don't know if I've ever put them on by myself.
Are you serious?
Hand up. Don't think I've done it by myself.
Maybe we'll do it TCF's.
I honestly don't know. Does
teaches Boomy how to.
does it go red to black or red to red?
You don't know how to either.
I get on that. I don't.
See, there we go. We need to teach these young guys. Yes. No,
Okay.
red to red.
I had really.
My parents failed.
And then we got to follow that up with how to change a tire.
Yeah,
I know how to do
I've
that.
got no real talents, but I can
Hey,
teach you how to.
all this screams to me is that my parents failed at teaching me certain things.
Or maybe you just never had that vehicle.
Oh no, that's not true. I left the lights on that thing all the time.
Yeah.
Mom bailed me out, jumped it for me.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
Because if it was Amy, they just said, well, "Don't leave the lights on, dumbass."
Coming down 7-0 right now, bottom of the 7th. So
Got him right where we want him.
On the positive note, me and Zach will be at the Cubs game on Monday. Hopefully, we won't have to, just immerse ourselves in a bar before the game if the Cubs are 1-9 or 1-8.
I can't believe it.
But we will be there. If you're going to be out there, let us know. I like this idea. TCF Golf Scramble Charity Tournament. Shout out Josh. That is a great idea. Now my mind's rolling. But yeah,
any reason to go golfing, have a bunch of people come together and golf, drink a little bit,
do a live podcast.
It'd be tough to pick one charity though. We'd have to maybe leave that up to your
No,
fans.
we talked a lot on here, and you're familiar with Ben Bokus. We talked
sure.
And, put his story up, and we had said that a couple weeks ago he unfortunately had passed away. And we talked about like Carl, the young kid around here who passed away. So, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some charity organizations we can find.
Worthy.
I like the way we're going with this, boys. Also, Monday morning before the Cubs game, huge interview.
No, Sunday night.
Are we going to drop it Sunday night?
Yeah, because with Sunday night being Saturday, we ain't got nothing really.
Sunday night, we just recorded. Was it 2 nights ago, Zach?
Last night.
No, it was not.
It was Tuesday night. Yeah, sorry.
We recorded a huge. Do we want to tell people who it is,
or
do we want to keep them on the hook?
No, you can talk.
We interviewed Joe Ostrowski from 670 The Score. He was so nice to come in.
6 to 10 when the Cubs are not playing.
He called us at about 10:15 the other night.
It was one of the best interviews we've done. It wasn't like we had to really work for any of the questions. He came right out with some Cubs thoughts.
He backed up my thought. He told Z he was done.
Kinda.
So
is he just getting off the air?
We listened to him finishing his show at like 10:02, and then at 10:13 he called us.
We called us from
That's impressive.
The phone at the Score. Yeah. So you'll definitely want to listen to that. We're gonna drop that Sunday night, so make sure you pay attention. We'll be back on sometime next week during the week, and if you keep bringing 3 candy bars, we might have to keep that seat nice and hot for you.
Yeah, my tummy.
I was gonna say I was complaining before the show.
Before you might have to.
I didn't know I was gonna get 3 pieces to try.
But yes, thank you to Uncle Brian for coming on the show tonight. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me at ZLiliaTCF on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at typical_Chicago, at @theloop_sports. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Just type in typical Chicago fans. Type in The Loop Sports.
Make sure you check us out on YouTube. We'll have this video from here up hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Find us at Typical Chicago Fans on there. Hit the red subscribe button. If you're on Apple products, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. If you're not, find us on Spotify. Follow us there. Send us a screenshot that you do, and we'll enter your name to win a free T-shirt.
And go ahead and follow me at TCF Gameboy. Give me some